What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we have an important breakdown covering Oscar Health. If you guys have been following the channel for a while now, you will know that Oscar Health is my top stock pick for 2025, and I do believe that this stock will not only outperform the S&P 500, but the broader market as a whole, solidifying itself within the top 10 best performing stocks in 2025. I do believe that that will happen, and I do believe that Oscar Health will 3 to 5x by 2030. I do think that there is a possibility that we 10x from here within the next decade. So I do think that there is a lot of possible profits to be made on this stock, and I do think that we are still in very, very early. We're going to go ahead and break this down from a fundamental standpoint and a technical analysis standpoint, talking a little bit about their revenue, net income, and other stuff like that. And then we'll jump onto the chart here and look at where we could be headed, where we could be retracing to, and what we are looking as a mean reversion zone right now. And just a really quick word before we do get into this video, I do want to let you guys know that we have our free Discord linked in the description down below. You guys can join over 500 plus profitable traders, and we have over $500,000 in premium profits year to date. Now we're looking to target around $3 to $5 million, so make sure you guys do join up and do not miss out on that opportunity. Jumping onto the chart here, there is a lot to break down, so we're going to go ahead and break this down with two simple parts. First, looking at the daily time frame, talking about what could be coming in the next few weeks to few months, and then jumping onto the weekly time frame, forecasting out what could be coming by the end of this year, maybe end of next year, and so on. So looking at the daily time frame here, I think the most important thing for us right now is going to be this 200 SMA. I do think that once we can flip this back to support, maybe we do jump over it, retest, and then bounce up to this fair value gap. Either way, if we can flip this to support, I do think that that is the start of the wave 3 move, and we'll talk about those wave 3 targets in just a minute. But I do think that is the most important thing to look at right now, and I do think that once we can flip that to support, like I said, we can fill this fair value gap up at around 19.50 to $20. So I do think that that can come within the next few weeks. I do think that it'll most likely happen by the end of March, and especially if we are to get maybe a good bounce in the market, I do think that something like that can come within the next 2 weeks. And I do think that this name will continue to move faster and faster and faster as these prices do get higher. So I do think after we do fill this fair value gap, we are headed to around $23.47. Now, this is going to be a good bit of resistance as we did have a previous double top here. And then that ended up leading us down to our wedge right here that had us finish out our wave 2 move. So I do think that we will end up breaking this $23.47 range. But once we do, that is really, really going to ignite that move to wave 3. So I do think that there will be a good bit of resistance right here for the time being. Maybe we'll go ahead and draw out a Fibonacci retracement. Maybe we'll come back down. We'll go up to 23.43 or 47, come back down, maybe retest this 200 SMA once more, and then head higher. Something like that can definitely happen, but more or less we are going to work higher to that wave 3 move. And I do think that over the next few weeks, we will see a lot of bullish buying in Oscar Health here, as we did see those insiders come in not too long ago. I do think that we're going to get that second push coming in after that news, as it normally happens. You do tend to see, a big run up when you do initially get that news, and then you tend to see a second leg come within, a month or two after that, once people really do get their, wits about them and understand the company, because a lot of people didn't have their eyes on Oscar Health when Michael Burry bought. But I do think that did spark curiosity with investors, and I do think that now that they know what Oscar Health is, once we do get moving, there will be a lot more people piling into this stock. And I have seen a lot of good things on Twitter. A lot of people have been seeing this name, a lot of people have been pushing it out. And now, while I'm not looking for some publicity here, I'm looking for people to understand that this name has some quality and that there is some good profits to be made. And jumping onto the weekly chart here, guys, you can see that we are sitting in this beautiful cup and handle, currently wedging down into the handle right here. After a previous double top of the wave 1 extension, we did go ahead and move down to complete wave 2 at 1275. And once that was completed, I do think that we are starting the wave 3 move up. Now, there is a bit of consolidation going on, but nonetheless, we are holding up very well with the market on its current drop. So I do think that that is very bullish. And once markets can turn around, whether that's a bounce or we return to all-time highs and continue, I do think that this name is definitely going to get some momentum behind it. And I do think that will take us up to our wave 3 move at around 45.19. Now, you guys can go ahead and take some projections looking at the move coming out of the cup here and measure that up. And you guys can see that it does pretty much line up with our move coming in at around $44.82, around $1 under what my estimate is. So you guys can see how accurate that is going to be. Somewhere around $44 to $45 is going to be my target by the end of the year. And I think the minimum target by the end of the year is going to be all-time high, sitting at around $37. I do see that there could be a possible bit of resistance up there, so we might need a little bit of a cool off, and that just might be a time factor. maybe if we don't hit 45 by the end of the year, we most likely will hit 45 by, January, February of 2026. So I do think that it is coming. It just depends on the timeline, especially with the way that the market is looking right now. But nonetheless, with a long-term hold like this, I do think that there is no reason not to be holding a company like Oscar Health. When you do see a, beautiful chart like this, I have not seen a cup and handle look at this fundamental in quite some time. So you guys can see why I have a lot of belief within this company. And taking the wave 3 move from the prices today, that would be an insane 182% that we are forecasting out for the end of the year. So I do think that that is very possible, and I do think that the financials can catch up with this, as we did see 55% year over year growth in revenue, beating all time or beating their estimates, and guidance actually raised another 25% year over year. So we have seen a 100% gain in the last 2 years, and I do think that this company is still young enough where it can see even more growth coming out of it. So going ahead and targeting out what we could see by maybe the end of 2026, maybe 2027. But I do think that this will come inevitably as the company does continue to grow. And I do think with Kushner as the CEO, this will obviously see a lot of bullish positivity come into this stock. And I do think that this can take us up to our wave 5 move, sitting at around $69.68. So that would be an insane 337% from prices today. And I do think that is very possible. Now, I don't think that comes by the end of this year, but I do think it is something that comes by maybe end of 2026, maybe middle of 2027. And guys, when you're looking at that, it does sound like a ways away. But when you guys are thinking about an 8% annualized return being a pretty good return for a stock, and then you go ahead and divide 333% by 3 years, that is a pretty good looking stock there. You could pretty much forecast out a 100% return over the next 3 years every single year. So I do think that this company is looking very bullish, and I am, piling into this stock right now. I have both calls and a bunch of shares. I have around 500 shares at an average price of 14.83, and then I also do have a few long dated calls out to around January 16th of 2026. A lot of our Discord members got into those calls, and a lot of our Discord members are holding shares right now. And with prices still up around 20% year to date, we're still sitting on some pretty good profits. So I do think that you guys are still very early with this stock, and I do think that Oscar Health will be one of the next big players. We will see something like Hims or Palantir come out of this chart, as we can see that this has been one of the best looking cup and handles that I've ever seen right here. And it does look like it is getting ready for that impulsive wave 3 move up to around 45.19. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. Let me know what you guys think of Oscar Health down in the comments down below. And then make sure you guys do drop a like and subscribe as always. It really does help out the channel, as we are striving to hit around 1,000 subscribers by the end of March. And once we do that, we will be giving out free premium lifetime memberships in our Discord, which is linked in the description down below. So make sure you guys do join up on that and do not miss out on that opportunity. And I will see you guys in the next one.